Hello everyone, welcome back. This will be the S part of the playlist. And what I wanted to start off with is, what is a firearm? I've got a couple different definitions, so let's go and jump right into it. Firearms are weapons that use gun, powder, an explosive charge, or a propellant to discharge a projectile from a metal tube. A Merriam-Webster definition is a weapon from which a shot is discharged by gunpowder, usually used for small arms. AmericanFirearms.org defines it as firearm is a mechanical device that uses pressure from a burning powder or an explosive charge to force a projectile through and out of a metal tube. A weapon, usually a pistol or rifle, capable of firing a projectile and using an explosive charge as the propellant. So, here's the thing. In order for a firearm to work properly, you need to have two things. First is a human being. The second is ammunition. If you look behind me, right here, is a Glock 17 Gen 5. It is a pistol. The 17 part of Glock 17 ingeniously was used as the amount of rounds that are put into a magazine. Glock, when they created it, which is an Austrian company, didn't go with a bunch of numbers and everything else. They just went and made it extremely simple. If you look at this pistol right now, it is nothing more than a paperweight. I know I'm going to upset a lot of people and they're going to say I'm oversimplifying this, but right now, this pistol, like I said, is nothing more than a paperweight. Cannot do a single thing. If it falls, it might hurt my toe, but there's absolutely nothing with it that will do any harm to anybody. As you can tell, that it is clear. Okay, right now, with me being the human as the only element in the two-part element of it, is nothing more than a blunt object. Okay, it's nothing more than a club. It's nothing more than something that I can throw at somebody with. It still requires that second element, which is the ammunition. What is ammunition? Ammunition is basically that propellant or that item that will shoot off from the barrel. Okay? It's usually, when you talk about either a pistol or a rifle, it's usually known as a round. It's not a bullet. The bullet is the pointy thing at the front of it. Or could be considered a projectile. There's also shot shells, which is for shotguns. And we'll get into that at a later video. So, a round, or it can also be considered a cartridge, is, don't have any here because I don't want to have any live ammunition around this pistol while I'm in my house teaching you this. But basically, a round is a bullet, then what's behind the bullet that the bullet sits in is called a casing or case. It's usually brass, but it could be made of other material. Then inside, directly behind the bullet, is the gunpowder, which is what is going to be used to propel the propellant out of there. There's two basic different types of pistol rifle rounds. There's what's called center fire and rim fire. Because the last element that you need for a round in order for it to fire, or a cartridge, is the device that ignites the gunpowder. Most ammunition is called a primer. It's a little tiny cap on a rimfire, it sits inside of the case. On a centerfire, it's actually outside of the case on its own. That sits inside of the case at the bottom of it. So those are the elements that you need in order to properly fire a pistol. Like I said, with this just sitting by itself with nothing else around it, it is nothing more than a paperweight. I, as a human, pick it up. It's still nothing more than an object that could be a blunt object, could be other things. It needs to have the round, which the ammunition, which would sit right in here, go inside, this will slide forward, and then the trigger has to be depressed in order for it to fire. If those elements aren't met, there's something wrong with the firearm. Okay? And people can sit there and argue, well, what about a chimpanzee? What about an orangutan? Find me a real chimpanzee and orangutan that can not only, this is a magazine, not only put the ammunition in here, take this, slide it into here, using this, or you can do it this way, let the slide go forward, and actually pull the trigger. I don't think that there is any out there. If there is, it's usually for an act, circus, or whatever. But I just wanted people to understand and realize that this isn't something scary. If you know how to use it properly, there are purposes for it. Okay? We will continue on with more and more videos later on, and hopefully as things progress, as winter progresses, since it's starting to become winter where I'm at, we will do more training and we will do more understanding of this stuff. I hope everybody enjoyed it. By all means, put your comments in. I would love to see people's comments, and whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, don't let politicians and don't let ignorant people sway your belief and thinking on what a firearm is. Okay. Use your ability to rationally think on your own and make a sound judgment. Whether you look online, whether you go into a gun store, whether you get proper training of it, figure out on your own what this is. This is why in my other videos I talked about why you need to have the basic skills that you learn at school. Don't just believe something that somebody tells you. Look it up on your own. Get that understanding and the basis of things on your own, and you make the decision. Thank you very much for your time.